What is up? Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 35. Joining me tonight are Robin and Melody Roberts. How are you guys doing?
Great. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. Thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. I know you're extremely busy right now getting ready for this No Prep King season.
But we're running like crazy.
So what's going on? What's going on with the No Prep Kings car and the Streetcar? What's the whole deal going on there, Robin?
Well, we just got the Streetcar back from Australia. And it's beat up, as you know. It looks like a golf ball. It's dimpled everywhere. it's just beat to hell from them rolling it in the container. So we've got that in the shop. We left it all together, complete, just in case. Well, I mean, so as you know, the other car, High Velocity, which we'll talk about it in a second, just in case we had to use it for the first race here of No Prep Kings, we didn't touch it. It's sitting there ready to go. Same tune-up, same everything, same chassis setup. I guess we have to change the tires if we decide to run it for No Prep Kings, but so it's just waiting, and then we'll wait for us to fix it. It's ugly. It runs good, but it's ugly.
It's not ugly. Stop.
It's if you don't mind a little bruising and bending everywhere, it's all right. But it looks, you know what? It looks used. It looks well used.
There you go. There you go.
She's Old Faithful. I don't think she's ugly. I think she's gorgeous, and he should never talk mean about her.
Yeah.
She's been good to us.
It's a good car. The new car that I crashed last year in Rockingham, it's here now. We've been working on it for a few weeks. Alan has been going crazy on it. I've had a lot of business. I've been having to run off tube. We worked this weekend on it. It just came back again today for a few more little tweaks, but it is as close to complete as it can be. He's going to throw some wiring and stuff, some finishing touches on it. I've got to go to Minneapolis and get some work in, but while I'm there, when I get back, it should be a running machine ready to go take testing. Nice. It looks beautiful. It's a beautiful car.
It is. I love the blue, man. It's sharp. It's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah. That blue is the same blue. For those people out there who would know my Trans Am and how I got going white with blue stripes, it's the same blue that's in those blue stripes.
Oh, okay. That's a cool fact. Nice. And so is your No Prep Kings car, is that turbos as well? Twin turbos?
No, neither of them are turbos.
So you're going with the Pro Charger? That's what they're.
Yeah. Yeah. We're joining them, I guess, in certain ways, but in other ways, we had success with the turbos and we were fast. But it's really hard to just stay consistent. That you're on the edge. When it was fast, it was the fastest car there, and when it wasn't, it wasn't. And by the way, it could change from one round to the next. You could think you have it all figured out, and then the very next round is like a different car. That's what we've always fought with the turbo setup. And that's why we decided just to take the leap and make a move. We do all our own tuning, except for we have some advisors out there, but, day to day, moment to moment, we're making the changes, and, we were pretty good at it. But the beauty of being able to go to Australia too was to get some runs in the car with a Pro Charger and figure it out.
Yeah, so that was the first time, right? Because I remember last year I thought you were going at the beginning of the year, maybe going Pro Charger, but decided not to. Is that correct? Okay, so
well, I mean,
you ran it.
Yeah, and I guess the honest answer is that was we were really hoping to run the Hearts Charger. Wasn't ready. Today, still, there's a lot of development yet to do, and so. We're going to, at this point, we're coming with a Pro Charger. That's what's on the cars.
Nice. And then obviously your whole setup changed and everything, and the rules came out and stuff, and you were preparing for that. What are your thoughts about the rules across the board as far as each class? You think there's a lot of parity, or you think a class has an advantage?
Well, I always get funny about rules, because here's the funny thing about them, right? Like, we choose to race in this field that has these rules. And so to go complain about the rules doesn't make sense, because you can't change them. Yeah. you can give feedback and you can talk to people or whatever, but you're not going to change them. So I accept them as they are. Do I think some things could be different? I don't think I've ever looked at a single rule package, whether I was playing football or even basketball, and thought, well, those rules stupid. We should 3 seconds. My ass is the biggest guy in the court. Let me in there for the middle for a while. Same kind of thing. Everybody wants their spot where they think they're good, and they're going to fight for their combo or whatever it is. It's super common. I guess my opinion would simply be, I mean, did they do everything they should do? No. Why did they put 50 pounds on intentionally trying to put it on a harsh charger? Little stuff like that. It's all just weird stuff to me, and I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah. Have you ran the 34.5-inch tire?
Never.
Recently? Never. Okay.
Never.
Okay.
That'll be a first.
Nice.
We were one of the first to go to the 36s. There are mistakenly pictures out there that of ours that we were hiding that we were running 36s very early. We were one of the early adopters.
Gotcha. Nice. So, and you do you plan to get? Are you hopeful to get a test session in before the season starts with high voltage, or are you? I mean, is that the plan?
Well, high voltage, the old car, it's tested and ready to go from Australia.
Okay.
High velocity, we will definitely take it and get some hits before we show up in Ohio.
Nice.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Now you had let's talk about Australia, because you had the car over there,
Yep.
and it was on bigs, right? You had it on your big tires.
Absolutely.
So talk about the competition there, and did you have to pretty much give up something every race because you were?
The competition was good, actually. Look, here's what you find out about Australians. They don't have good food, but they're great people. I mean, they just don't. Australia, if you want to go eat well, don't go to Australia. Choose Italy and choose another country. But as far as people, man, they were so nice and great people. They only bumped into the couple, which in America, it's still a better ratio than in America in some cases. But, the competition was pretty good, but we were just faster. And we ended up always had to give something. And that's okay. That was part of why we went that way. Even the big tire cars, we were giving stuff to. And there were a couple we didn't, but most of them we were.
Okay. And then there was a couple issues with some of you guys over there. You particularly with a logistic issue. Talk about that. Was that after the first race, going to the second race? Is that what that happened?
After the first race, we loaded it, we rushed it to get it into the container, and it got put on a truck. Really interesting. This will play in part of the story. It got put on a truck by itself. Now there were 10 cars, and so, or 10 containers, 9 of us plus farm truck. They were all supposed to be doubled. So it should have been 2 containers being towed across the country from Perth to Brisbane, which is like New York City to LA, right?
Yeah.
Well, because Ryan Martin had crashed his car the night before in testing, they sent it to Sydney, so it wasn't attached to one. So mine went alone. So my car was the only one being towed on a trailer. It was a single.
Yeah.
We get done, load it up, and then we head to bed. We get up in the morning, goof around, and our time zones are way off. So we go to take a little nap around noonish or whatever. In the middle of the afternoon, I reach over and I grab my phone and I look at it. And I've got like 15 missed calls. And I look, and Ryan Martin is 5 of them. So I thought, oh boy. So I dial Ryan. He picks up, and no kidding, he says, "Hey, how are you?" I said, "Good." He said, "Have you seen the internet?" I said, "No." He said, "Don't look." And so he starts to tell me some of what happened and what he thinks happened. And so I said, well, let me call. So I called the producer after that and got the scoop. And we went and looked at the car, and it's laying on its side. And, up jacked up against the wall in the container. And I'd already had people sending me videos in private message of TikTok videos of them flipping the trailer back over and the front of the car flopping out of the door and stuff like that. Is like,
Oh man.
The social media is so fast. It outruns the best news,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of funny with that. Alan, I guess someone had called him or he had seen that there was it went down. And he's like, God, I wonder who that happened to. That's terrible. Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
Wonder whose car got crashed. It was ours.
I feel bad. And then they're like, that was high voltage. She's like, what? So they were out on an island. They were having a good time with everybody.
Yeah.
And that
We were sleeping.
Yeah, didn't go too well for them the rest of the day. But
however, think about what a blessing it was that it was still my car alone. And
right.
Otherwise, it would have been 2 trailers crashed, 2 containers crashed. And the honest answer is, it got flipped on its side and slid down the freeway, and it ended up blocking the whole road, the whole traffic in the road. I just wonder if it had been 2 connected, if when it flipped on its side, if it hadn't got tangled up and rolled more or worse, or made it to where we couldn't race. But it could have taken out 2 cars instead of just ours, and we were able to fix it. So very blessed, even though it doesn't feel like a blessing.
Yeah.
What I thought was really, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Melody.
Well, I thought it was really neat. The people from Australia, we had people come in and help.
They were so
nice.
Literally,
okay, so we had Boosted. Boosted came, and also guys from Scott Taylor.
Crew,
they
Boosted.
came out. They spent the whole day with us. They stayed behind an extra day and flew in. So that was huge. We got help from the guys, and
I think the honest answer there is
locals came out and helped.
I think all of the other drivers, if we would have said, "Hey, we need you," they all would have.
Mm-hmm.
But we felt like there'd be too many. We already had their crews, who they were. Todd had Scott and several others with him. Like we had Scott had Todd and a couple others with him. Like we'd had so many people if we'd needed it. But you just can't get too many people around the car when you're trying to figure out what's going on. So we kept it limited. But I'm sure everyone would have stayed and helped.
It was nice though. The help was fantastic.
It was great.
And also, I think I saw you got your car. You took your car somewhere local, and they kind of fixed it up cosmetically for sure.
Yeah. So one of the local pro mod racers, actually from Brisbane, which was the next race we were going to, reached out to us through some contacts that we knew, and trying to think of his name. Who's the guy we know from Australia that worked with Proline? Anyway, so he offered, he said, "Hey, bring it to my place. We will fix it. We've got everything. I've got a body guy here. I've got this guy here. I've got a chassis guy that I know locally." And so that was the decision we made, is we wanted to get it there to his business. Turns out Steve Ham is great. Boris Pacey wanted to help us in Perth, but we just felt like we needed to get down the road. So we get to Steve's place. He brings in a guy who fixes all of the pro mod front ends when they wreck them and stuff like that, Peter, and he just did a fantastic job. So did Josh, one of the chassis guys locally. They just come in, replace control arms, everything we needed. It was unbelievable.
So we didn't have much time. Okay. So we had these really cool, this is hilarious. So this guy was on a TV show, the truck driver.
Oh, the truck driver.
Yeah. It was awesome.
He was on Outback Truckers.
Yeah. So they end up getting this guy who is
not the guy who wrecked our truck, but they get another one. And these guys they're
diehard.
Oh, not only diehards, but tons of personality.
Oh yeah.
Not so smart. His last name was Smart, but his buddy called him not so smart. So and they were just great to us. They got us across, and they got our truck, our container across the country, and they were so proud. They were
great. And then so we got them tickets.
Yeah, we got them.
They were up at the starting line. They were hooping and hollering. They were having so much fun.
They had a blast.
But the guy thought he was helping us. We went to lunch. He took all our stuff and he crammed it and we had to undo it all. I mean, he meant well, but man, those guys, they work hard over there.
They were fantastic.
They go hard. So that was really cool those guys
Yeah.
will meet.
It was unfortunate it happened, but it led us to so many good experiences with great people.
Right. And speaking of that, now you had to basically be living with or close to all your rivals, all the guys you race every
Yeah.
weekend over
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and be teammates and share information. Like how was that experience with those guys?
Oh, it was great.
They're
You
awesome.
know, you really grow close with a lot of people, even ones you wouldn't expect to, when you're in quarters like that, and when you're going to take on or be a part of a challenge such as that group. You just really learn to appreciate everyone and the things that, and partly it's because you know what you know about people in limited quantities when you have limited time with them, right? But when you get saddled together there to do something for 5 weeks in a row like that, you just have the time to learn more about them and who they are. And you learn things like Murder Nova and his love for his son and his passion for his family. I mean, it's just a really good guy. Scott Taylor's wife is a total hoot.
She's great.
Man, you talk about funny. She should have her own damn show.
She's great. She cracked me up the whole time.
It was
amazing.
Pinky,
One-liners.
You know,
Boom.
I went to Pinky one time and I just said, hey, man, I just really appreciate the personality you have. You have an incredible personality, and he does. He's great. And so, you know, you just get those time with people, Justin, Ryan, and I've spent a lot of time with Ryan, though. I really appreciate Ryan, but you get that time with people that you wouldn't normally get, and you really draw a bond.
Yeah, and
Boosted was always hilarious. But,
Boosted was our workout
gosh.
buddy.
Oh yeah, and we
go to the gym a lot.
Yeah, we took him to 2 trips to the gym and stuff like that. We had a great time.
And that guy is tough.
Oh yeah, he'll do some killer workouts.
He'll do an hour, like he'll be like kicking, boxing for like an hour straight, like dripping.
Wow. People have no idea how tough Boosted is. Do not fight Boosted.
No,
do yourself a
do
favor.
not screw around with him.
Else.
He might look.
He's thin, but he gonna kick.
Oh
your
no,
butt.
he's tough, and so is Kayla. They're both like they're on it.
It was fun. So you just learn stuff like that, and you get to be close to people doing things like that.
I mean, a couple of the outings, we got to go to the zoo together. Yeah. We did some outings together, which grew, everybody got a little closer, but Pinky was hilarious because he was constantly camera. I mean,
he packed around a GoPro like a real pro.
He did. Yeah, that's good. That's the way to put it. Yeah, it was great. It was great. So
nice. So overall, it sounded like it was a good trip.
Yeah, well, let's say overall.
Yeah. All's well that ends well.
Yeah, it was. And we had fun. You know, I here's what I say. I experienced every single emotional possible on that trip. From the moments where you said, why are we doing this? This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. This is stupid. To, oh man, this is awesome. This is the best thing ever. Why? I can't believe it. You know, I had everything there was in that trip.
Well, one other quick thing. I got to tell you, the fans over there,
they're
whether
amazing.
whether it was Australians when they were done racing or whether it wasn't, us, they were so proud of everybody. It brings me chills. They were really proud of the racers and to be a part of that. Yeah. And they were awesome.
The Australian people are something else. They're awesome.
Yeah, that makes for a great experience.
Their food's still terrible.
They have good gelato. They have good gelato. I gained weight.
Swanstrom was saying that he thinks they just lack a little bit of seasoning in their food. Is what
they
he
do.
was.
Yeah, probably. Maybe there's no salt in Australia. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's switch gears now. Let's talk about No Prep King season. This last season, season 5.
Okay.
Obviously, everybody knows. You had your big crash and everything like that. Now you've been so far since that happened. Have you had a chance to look back in it and really diagnose how serious it was? And then also, what was your first time how was it first time getting back in your car and racing competitively? How did that go?
Well, those are good questions. The accident is way more serious than TV shows it. And I'm going to tell you something that is a little hard to say, but it's fitting. I don't remember anything from I let go of the button and the car was going out. I remember lifting off of the gas lifting off the throttle, and that's it. I don't remember anything else from, I don't know, a couple of days until I'm sitting in the hospital and the doctor leans over and he's asking me questions, right? And I'm just answering because there's normal questions like, who's the president? What year is it? When did you graduate? And then he said, congratulations. And I said, for what? And he said, well, that's the first time you've been able to answer any of those correctly. So, you know, I then look over at Melody and I have no memory of anything before that. I mean, like that whole gap of a couple of days time is just gone. I was unconscious in the car for almost 12 minutes. I know there are a lot of people trying to help. When you watch it on the TV show, it looks like I step and get out. I don't remember any of that. If you tell me, oh, you stepped out of the car, I have no idea what happened. Took a nice, you know, lump on the head, which for me is the thickest part of my body, but for some reason it didn't protect me well enough. And so, but you know, that was it was pretty rough. It was rough all the way around, rough for the family, rough for my family, and a lot of calls and texts, and you know, we have a lot of good people who care about us, and that mattered a lot. So now you fast forward to the end of your question. We load up the car, take it to Australia. Now imagine this: a totally different car, totally different power plant, a new power plant, all new. It's never been down a track with that in it.
Yeah.
And that was my first pass, was in Australia when I got back in the car, and I'd never even sat in that car. I'd sat in to set the seatbelts, and that was all. And then I sat it in it to pull up to the lanes to make that run. And, you know, it was very emotional. It was very hard to do. My heart was pounding. I was trying to play it off, but, you know, it was very, that first run was pretty intense, but the car did what it was supposed to do. Alan did what he was supposed to do. Yeah. Car did what it was supposed to do. And then by the third pass, we were flying.
We were rolling.
We were flying. So,
nice.
You know, you got to get those bugs out of the way. Now, here's the crazy part. Now, I forgot about this, and this is playing to the story. That was that night, the first night. Anyway, that night, when I go to race someone late in the rounds, no kidding, I'm going down the track. I'm outrunning them. I lift, throw the chutes, and I see this big, big flame and sparks comes flying across my car, and I kind of jolt, and I look over, and his car is next to mine, spinning on its top, going by me, and I can see him. It's on his top like a turtle going by me as I'm slowing down with the chutes, and I'm like, holy crap!
We thought it was Robin.
This dude wrecks right next to me. They all think it was me.
We think it's him.
Spark shower.
It's just everywhere, just fire.
And I'm rolling up. The chutes have slowed the car so much that I'm rolling up to where he's sitting, and I'm coming up really slow, and I'm already pulling the belts off to see about getting out. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm still kind of freaked out. Yeah. And I'm rolling up there like, I don't know. And then here comes I mean, they have the fastest ambulances.
Oh, they were great.
Too. They come sliding in between us and bailing out. Lutz have made the run before us. I think he comes running over the wall and runs down there. So I just slowly got out of the car because I realized it couldn't be of any help. But here's this guy hanging upside down in the car in a seat because the car's on its top. And I just wrecked a few passes before. Yeah. So it was a little unnerving again. He was totally fine. He gets out. He's laughing. Well, you know, I mean, I've wrecked sprint cars harder. Like,
this guy was a good sport. You'll see it on TV. Yeah. But I mean, it was we were a little freaked out because it was like the third pass.
You were freaked out. I was really freaked out.
But then we're like, go get in there. Come on. You're up next. Let's go. Man,
and they start calling me wussies, you know, poking me in the ribs that already hurt.
We're mean.
That's funny. And up until your crash, Robin, talk about your season up until your crash, because obviously you didn't race after that, but you had won a race in Pennsylvania. Yep. You were really up there. I don't remember what you were in points. Do you know what you were in points before the crash?
Yes, I think sixth. So here's where we were. We were about to tie with Kai or right with him in second and third. I can't remember if we were tied with the second or something like that. And then when we won Pennsylvania, And then we had 4 bad races in a row.
Mhm.
We went out first round, 4 races in a
Yep.
row. It's never happened to us.
Yeah, it did. Right then it happened to us.
It had never happened to us to that point, and then it did. So,
Uh-huh.
and then each time something really wacky happened that was totally different. I mean, one time I simply read it.
Right.
One time Alan simply missed on the tune. One time we had a rear shock lock up. I mean, all the weirdest stuff that could possibly happen happened. And then we're like frustrated. I said, man, let's just get the new car. We're already dropped back to 10th, I think we were 9th or 10th. I don't know what it was. So we already dropped back. Let's just get the new car out and get it figured out. So we got it, started racing it, marched our way all the way back up to 6th. I could see where we were going to end 3rd, 4th. I mean, we were going to be in that kind of position where we were going to push right up. The car was fast. We were going to take another race. We kind of lost one through some dumb moves and different things, which is just stuff that happens. And so, it looked like we're on this great path, and then I wreck it in Rockingham. So
can happen.
Back to the drawing board. Send it back to the chassis guys and write another check. Like fix this brand new car, man. Oh. But we fixed it better. I mean, it's a better car even now than it was then.
Right. Yeah. That's good. That's good. And then, Robin, you got to race in, I think you competed like 7 of the grade 8 events.
Yeah.
You won 1. Yeah. What were your thoughts of the grade 8? Because they switched it up, obviously, from team attack to grade 8 this past year. What were your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it made for a better fans race because it was the 8 top drivers, right? Which made a better Friday night for them to watch. That made sense. Now, as far as us and in our way, one of the inconsistencies of the turbo car showed up in those races where, it took us a few runs every track to dial it in, and here we were having to go out and by the second run. Now you got to be in the competition, so it was a little tough for us with the inconsistency. But I don't know.
Can I say something about the grade 8?
Oh, you can have an opinion.
Here's my opinion. I don't particularly like the grade 8, even though we won one, which is really cool. I don't think it's really good to have all of the guys that are way at the top. Okay, they're way up here.
Accumulating points.
They keep accumulating points. You don't give anyone else. It doesn't make it interesting. It's like, well, here we go again. Here's the grade 8, the same 8. I think that gets a little boring for me.
Yeah, but I'm a different person. Find the cons. You can find the positive, the pros and the cons, and everything. And so, the good news was the fans got Friday night to see the top 8 racers race. That was cool. The negative is if you weren't in the 8, it was a real bummer, and you had no chance at points and different things like that.
It's not just that. It takes the top guys, and it doesn't give anybody who's striving because they're so far up there. I don't like the concept.
Yeah,
but
everyone's gonna have an opinion. See,
yeah, sure.
I think fans. There were other people who didn't like it either. So
Melody, the team attack did you like the team attack better than grade 8? Would you have preferred the team attack?
Yes. I liked the suspense of who's going to race on our team because you had to draw chips. I liked the team concept. I liked it a lot.
Find out this year if that's really true.
I'm interested. I mean, who knows which team we're going to be on.
Yeah.
But I like the camaraderie of that better than, oh, well, you're top dog. So here you go again, top dog. I mean, it's great. But it's not as interesting for me. There's all kinds of people in the world. Everybody has their opinion.
There you go.
So.
For sure. Exactly. Now, Melody, I always ask the drivers if they are prepared or how they're preparing for this upcoming season. But how are you preparing for this upcoming 14 weeks?
Oh, man. I'm telling you what. So I'm ordering stuff. I'm doing all the stock. I just dumped the motorhome because I do the motorhome crap. So I had to dump the motorhome.
Literally, she does the motorhome crap.
Yeah, that's my job. Ellen's like, Mel, you got to dump the motorhome. Oh, great. Yes, I'm out in the shop doing that. I got to clean it. I do all, so I got to restock everything in there. So I just got to make sure. I asked him, do you need new shoes? Does the car have a cover? because this guy needs a secretary. Okay. I mean, he's good at what he does, but if he doesn't have a helper, be lost.
If you're going to have a secretary, she might as well be well endowed and redheaded.
That's
I mean,
right.
Why not? Right.
Yeah. I'm a secretary. That's what he
Yeah,
calls
there
me.
you go.
So, but yeah, so
I'm blushing.
I get a lot of the stuff done behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That, it has to be done.
And I don't want to do it. I don't want to order shirts and go through all that stuff. That's
the
nice.
stock.
So just let her have it.
But it's
And
all
she
good.
does a great job.
So that's my job. Make sure, like, even at the track, I make sure all of his equipment is there. I make sure he's geared up right. Everything's in his place. That's kind of my deal. But yeah, that's how I've been gearing up. So.
Nice. Now, before we get into the whole new format and everything for this year, when they announced it, was the plan to stay with Team X again and build that up and come back with Team X? Was that the plan this offseason?
I think we could have hung together. Chuck 55, Larry and I, we're all pretty close. I don't know. The truth is we didn't get enough time to really talk about it before we knew what was going on, and nobody said they wanted off or anything like that. So I don't know what would have happened.
So
you can always guess.
Let's talk about the new team format. What are your thoughts about that going forward?
Well, I'm going to be maybe an outlier in the group that I like it. I mean, I think it's a chance to mix things up a little bit. I think it's a positive for getting. I mean, what we learned and honestly, maybe I wouldn't feel that way if I hadn't just come back from Australia.
Right.
Having just come back from Australia the way we did, I think it'll be a good chance to get close to some other people, to get to be, tighter and literally see something different and have some different experiences. And I'm okay with that.
I think it'd be good for the fans too. Switch it up a little bit.
Now, am I anxious about how it's going to end up? Yeah, I am. And I have some issues with okay, what if we get on team? What do you do? I mean, you're going to have to just tough it out.
Race hard.
You'll have to learn to be friends with people you weren't friends with, maybe. Or
the F word. We're using the F word now.
So you're going to have to get closer to people you weren't expecting to be close to. So there'll be some positives that'll come out of it, no matter what. Like I said, pros and cons to everything.
Yeah. And you said exactly what Sean had said a couple weeks ago when I had him on about because of Australia, he thinks that this new team format will actually help him in his opinion on people and stuff like that. It actually will, he might be more open now and stuff like that with some of the guys.
Sure.
Yeah. I think we're all going to help each other. I don't know that we'll give away every last secret. I don't think anybody, any guy's going to do that. This is racing, right? But you're going to still help the guys. I mean, if they're struggling with something and you think, hey, guys, did you think about the four-link? Did you think about whatever the issue is? You're going to help them out and just build camaraderie. So,
right.
And if you get that closeness going, you can begin to share and learn from each other. Before you have that, you'll give someone advice sometimes and they don't know whether to take it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
What do you think will make a team successful? Do you think it's that team camaraderie, sharing information? Do you think it's them couple of guys having the same combinations with maybe the same tuner? What do you think is going to make a team really successful? Or is it just the fastest guys are going to make the best team?
This is what you're going to get to see. Who really becomes helpful and who doesn't. And so, I believe what you stated would be the best path for any team to do. Put all cars, the same combos on there, and all of you work together.
Yeah.
That seems like and I'm not, look, there are other smart guys out there figured this out too. They just may not be talking about it, but that's like, if you said, what would you do? Okay, I would do that. Or you would try and pick at least two guys per team that could work together. You know what I mean? So if you were shooting for that team championship, if that's what you thought you were really in it for, if you thought your team could do it, and this is one thing that will be a good result out of that. One of the pros that will come out of it is you won't be able to languish at the back without some pressure to perform because your whole team is going to be looking at
Come
you,
on.
whether you know, I mean, let's be real. I mean, looking over at you going, dude, you're our anchor. Like, come on.
Let's
And
go.
so it's going to make people better. It's going to make people help people. I think the formula is people who can work together. You get 5 people who are reasonable, who understand maybe the dynamics of sports or business, where you can't do everything by yourself. It requires the team effort, things
Right.
like that. Those guys will shine.
They
I'm
will.
just convinced they will.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then obviously, Robin, you are in the running for the 8th.
No, I'm not.
No, no. There's
It's not
2
over.
people.
Let's
in
be
the
real.
running.
Let's just call this what it is. When that came out, I immediately knew, like
Yeah.
even before it came out, when they said, "Oh, you know, we want you to be one of these alternate captains." Like, well, okay, I'll be in the voting pool, but you know. But then they said, when they started naming the other names, as soon as they said Daddy, Dave, and Lizzie, I was like, well, this is going to be a 2-horse race. It doesn't matter who else is in there. It's Daddy, Dave, and Lizzie. Those are the 2 horses that are running. The rest of us are kind of like, you know, the tallest midget is kind of what we're racing for. It's it's all between Dave and Lizzie. It always was, and that's what it's coming down to in the end.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
Robin,
cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, because when I saw, there's so many people that are deserving of the captain spots, the actual 7 captains they have right now. Okay.
Mhm.
And when I saw them released, I didn't know what the criteria was really when it came to captains. And I would say I was surprised that you weren't one of them. Seeing how fast you've been, how committed you've been. You were the captain of Team X. You just went to Australia. So I was surprised. Did you feel slighted in any way that you might not
No.
that you weren't one of those 7 guys?
No.
Okay.
And that's kind of looking at it from this standpoint. It was not, and you can look at the group, is not about the fastest cars.
Right.
Right. It's just the captain choice wasn't about the fastest cars. Now, if it had been, I would have felt slighted.
Right.
Good. Gotcha.
But I knew that it wasn't. There's a mix of popularity. There's a mix of, you know, locality. There's a mix of, I mean, Murillo was in. He didn't do that great last year, but he was in because he has won a championship.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it as an overall, like you know, how do you not say him? And so, you know, I don't feel slighted.
Okay.
It's meant to be. Yeah.
We'll see who they pick. Maybe I'll feel slighted when that happens. We'll see how that goes. I'm sitting there in the 4th round. I'm going to feel real slighted.
Yeah. If we're like 4th or 5th round, we're going to be like, man,
This sucks.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, Robin. I think you'll be all right there.
No, well, I hope I don't either, but it could.
No, with this whole draft style, it's kind of cool because I'm a football guy, right? So the whole draft and how you guys how you're gonna do it live and in front of everybody, and now they had just announced about the little draft combine they're calling it, where guys can do some drug passes, some test passes. What are your thoughts about that part of the team aspect and everything going on that Thursday night?
I'm happy to get every test pass you can give me. I don't care. So there's that. I don't know. Of course, I think it was put together for the fans so they get to see us run. And there will be some guys who are trying to impress because let's face it, this is going to be like grade school dodgeball. Okay. You do not want to be the last person standing there. You don't want to be number 4. Like you just don't. And
that hurts.
And you don't intend for it to hurt, but you know, who wouldn't? Who wants to be? No one wants to be the last pick. And so, you know, I can understand why they'll want to come out and make a good show and why they'll want to be, you know, running hard. I mean, think of some guys who kind of struggled, but you know, they can be fast. They just haven't done it yet. They're going to want to come out there and really show it. Reaper, James, you know, guys like that. They're going to want to make good passes and show up. And I'll be one of those that I'll just be there to test the car.
You know,
just to be real, I'm just be there to test the car. There's nothing I can show you if you haven't seen it from last 3 seasons where we're always able to do pretty good. You know,
I think it'll be good TV because I was telling Robin, I mean, all of the team captains will be together and it's like they're scouts.
Oh, yeah, they can try and
you
get
know what
them
I
to-
mean? They're scouts.
They
and
try
they're
and get them to
like,
argue.
yeah,
the
you know.
normal,
So I think it'll be. I think it'll be good TV.
normal street outlaw
I'd like
fare.
it.
Get 'em-
You
get 'em
know?
to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
get
good.
him.
Honestly,
No,
it's
I'll
all
take
good.
him.
Yeah,
But yeah.
it's all good for TV. I really, it's
Right.
gonna be the whole everything they're doing. And you're right. There's gonna be the guys like you and other guys who are proven fast, and you don't need to show anything. But there's gonna be some guys who think they might be one of the last round picks that are gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna show somebody right now how fast I actually am. You know, so
Yeah.
Be careful though.
And good for them. I mean, it gives them a chance to show that they've learned something over the winter, that they put a car together, whatever it may be. I mean,
right.
Maybe it's a great equalizer. Maybe it just, I don't know. We'll see.
I'll see.
But it's a good idea. It doesn't bother me at all.
And then recently they've talked about doing an individual race now on Friday night, not team stuff. I don't know the details of that at all, but what are your thoughts about having to probably running your car hard both days again instead of just doing some test passes or grudge races like you did 2 years ago?
I'll say the same thing I did to the other. You know, anytime you give me a shot at a test pass, I'll take it. We'll go out there and run the car hard. We've never gone out and thought about saving parts or saving, you know, that's never been a part of our program and who we are. And I understand that means that you know, we can do it. So it's, we're going to run hard no matter what. And if they'll give us 5 runs, we'll take 5 runs. They'll give us 2, we'll take 2.
If the
I'm not
car's
gonna worry
running
about it.
hot,
We
might not make 5 runs.
I'm
if our
not
car's
worried about
hauling
it.
butt,
Yeah.
we're not making 5. We're not going to beat it up.
With the turbo
bad.
car, we did have a few times where we said, well, let's just go 60 or something. But
yeah,
you know, we were ringing that car pretty hard.
Alan will be mad if you say that.
It'll be all right.
You don't want to beat it. He's like, no.
Do you set any personal goals for yourself for this year, Rob? I know it's a lot of team stuff, but you got any personal goals that you want to accomplish?
You know, I'm a goal setting guy. And so every year I've set goals for what we would do. And every year we've either been so close or exceeded those goals. Yeah, we have some. I don't know that I should talk about them because they say they may be, you know, let's be real about what goals are too, right? If you set a goal that says, hey, I'm going to break the top 15. Well, what kind of goal is that, right? Like that's not a real goal. You need something to really shoot for. And so I've got some pretty lofty goals and how well I think we can do. And, you know, our team has proven it. We have some very capable people that help us. Brian Sauser, Alan Bruflo, even his wife, Tara, the way they help us put the team together and go racing. You know, we're a solid team. And so I really think we can do well.
Yeah, talk about that some more. How because you've been so successful the last 3 years, how important is it for people like Melody and Alan and all of your crew guys? How important is it to your success?
You know, the second season, the end of the second season, where we'd made some races but not all of them, we decided to put together a hard season for a hard challenge in season 3, or was it 3? 4? I don't know what it was. Maybe it was 3 that we got part of it in. That's right. And then 4, we made a hard charge for the season. Mm-hmm. And we went through it, and we had to learn some lessons.
Oh yeah. What about the straight race?
And the lesson we learned was we needed to get more consistent. Then we went street racing all together. Oh, and before we went street racing, we took Melody, Tara, Alan, and I. We all just got in a little group, and I said, "Hey guys, we're going to go street racing in Nebraska, and it's just going to be the 4 of us. Right. We are the crew. We are the team.
Yeah.
We need to learn everything, and everybody needs to learn what the other one does a little bit too, in case something happens. But we're going to remain incredible. This is the only way we can stay consistent is if somebody does the same job. I'll call him back. The same job every time, the same role in making the car perform, so we don't miss a step or miss it, because we were missing stupid stuff. We'd not win a race because you didn't turn a bottle on, not win a race because you didn't, you know. And when we went to Nebraska, we solved that. The 4 of us working together missed nothing. Right. Season 4, 5, we missed nothing. You know, we didn't lose a race because we missed a job. And so
Yeah,
It
we
just
all have
changes.
we all have specific roles.
Yeah.
Like someone else could come in. Yeah, you can do the shoots. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do this. But yeah, you can check the tires. I mean, some of the
Can't
basic
work on the
stuff.
car.
But
And you're
if
talking
it's-
about checking them in the pits, not checking them
yeah, in
on
the
the staging
pits,
lanes.
but on the staging lanes, we each have our job. I
Yep.
don't step on her toes. She
Yep.
doesn't step on my toes.
Yep.
We don't step on Alan's toes.
Hey,
Right.
and since we're married, we have contracts. She can't get out of them. I keep
Hey,
my half. She
you better
wants
be
out,
nice. I'm just kidding. So yeah, we really,
She ain't
really
leaving the team, dude.
no, I think that's the thing is if everybody knows their role and we all step out of each other's way, that
Yeah.
was the key to success for us.
It's just something we did that worked, and so we stuck with it.
That's awesome.
And we introduced my friend Brian, who's been a friend of mine 35, years or whatever. And so, having him on the team also it's a solid team of people who respect and work well together.
Yeah, Brian's easygoing.
Yeah.
He'll step back. He'll do any job. It's perfect.
And the dude can fix anything. Like Alan can fix it. Alan can really
Yeah.
fix anything. We can just fix anything on that car.
We are very blessed.
Yeah, that's key. If you guys want, we will take some questions from fans as they're watching. So if you're in the
This will be
live,
beautiful.
I don't know, can you see the comments or off to the side?
I don't see the comments, not from what you're showing on our screen.
If you're on your laptop, you should be able to go on the right side. There should be like a comments or
Wait, there is. I'm going to hit comments and see what happens.
There we go.
Look at that. I can see them. Brilliant.
yeah. So if you're watching right now, post your questions. We already have some questions coming in.
His wife is here and I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Like it or not, baby.
Jamie wants to grudge race me at VMP, but he's already got his butt whooped so many times. I don't think he really wants that.
Yeah, that's me.
Sorry.
Deal with it. People don't like me. I don't
It
care.
don't matter.
We're a team.
Hey, if
I don't
everybody
care.
loves you, it's just as big a problem as if everybody hates you.
I wanted to ask you because you brought up some street racing.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing some street racing in the future here? Maybe I don't know if there's going to be any between the break and No Prep Kings or after the season. Are you still going to be up for some street racing? Because I think the last time we saw you on the street was it the 405 season 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Racing in Chicago.
Yeah.
Talk about that, and because everything's switching to small tires, obviously. And I've heard you guys are going pretty fast that night or that time in Chicago. Talk about going that fast on the streets with big tire cars.
Well, I mean, I started out street racing. I didn't go down a track till I was 35 years old. All I ever did was street race, and so that's how I got to know these guys in the first place. And so it's still my passion. It's my favorite thing to do. And we would street race in an instant if something fit that we could go and have a good time with it. Now, going to the small tire side of it, we raced street race small tires forever. Also, it's all I ever did until this. In fact, high voltage was my first big tire car. Now, I don't have a real small tire car. I've got a rear end built for high voltage. We've got some other stuff like that, but I'm just not maybe everybody loves small tires. I'm just not, maybe I just like to go fast as you possibly can with what you got. And why do you have a limit? And so, I may be that one guy on the outlier who says, well, it's small tires are cool, but maybe not as cool as big tires. So we'll see what happens, and we'll race, man. I race. That's what I do.
I don't think you're the only one who feels that way.
I don't care. Oh, so we got a couple of nasty comments. I don't care. But the one is, who would you rather race other than Ryan?
Who would I rather race?
Yeah, no. Who else besides Ryan that's really fast would you like to race? Do you find that, I want to race that guy? That's a good question.
I don't know. I think I always want to race the other. Like if you look around and say, who's the fastest car here? That's who I want to race. That's why I said Ryan when I've been asked that question, right? He's he's the baddest driver in our sport. So, I just always want to race the other fastest guy. And I want to be the other fastest guy. Sorry, but it's a competitive sport and it's a sport. So you gotta have fun with it.
Yep. We had a question from a little while back. It said, Is there a different kind of racing, Robin, you would like to have a go at? Is there any other kind of racing, different kind of that you might you maybe want to try sometime, something like that?
When I was a kid, this will sound funny, but when I was a kid, I was a big NASCAR fan. And I mean the NASCAR back in the day when they were real steel bodies that looked like a factory car, and they ran into each other while they were, I mean, they did all that, but they drove hard. They went to win. And I loved that when I was a kid, the Allisons, the Bodines, all that kind of racing was just so different than it is today. And so I guess you could transport me back in time. I might want to be a Southern stock car racer, but, you know, that'd be fun. And it'd be totally interesting too. I mean,
Yeah.
So Robin, I got a portion of my show where I read off a stat or a couple stats or something about you.
Okay.
And I looked up the stat, kind of got it together. I want to get your opinion about it. So I always do the stats since season 4, because season 4 was like the first time they extended to 15 races. Guys like Swanstrom came in, like the competition got, Eric Kay was flying that. It was like, it wasn't just you and Lizzie and Kai and Ryan, every year. It was like new guys, and the competition really rose. And then they added a team attack, and then last year we did grade 8, stuff like that. So with all that combined, team attack, invitational, and grade 8, since season 4, you're 6th in round wins overall. You're 6th in win percentage. You're 6th in finals events that you've been to, and you're 5th in finals wins.
Wow. That's
pretty good.
That's impressive.
Damn good,
wow,
Rob.
that's fantastic.
I guess you can do a lot. I guess you can do a lot worse than that, and you can do 4 points better.
No, that's fantastic. I think that's
something to strive for.
That's
you
a
ask
great
for goals,
accomplishment, though. That's a great accomplishment. Something to be proud of.
No, it has been good. It's been a good run, and we've had fun doing it for the most part.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, first off, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. I know you guys are extremely busy, so it's taken a little bit to get this interview scheduled and in, but I'm glad we got to do it. I met you guys last year in Brainerd. You guys were wonderful. So I wish you guys the best of luck. I'll be at a bunch of races this year. I'll see you guys at the draft in Ohio. I wish you luck, Robin. I hope you're drafted very early, which I'm sure you will be. But you guys are awesome.
Hopefully top 5 to match the stats, right?
That'd be nice. 5th or 6th would be great.
Yeah. For sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I hope you guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep. See you guys.
Thank you.